at our patch, I go to the setup menu, patch and fixture schedule, and here we got our 6 front lights, starting with the ID 100, 101, the blinders starting with 201, then we got our 8 LED lights starting with 301, and the spots with 401. Finally, the smoke machine on the last position, 999. I'm gonna start making some groups. First of all, I would like to have a group of the front light. So I'm gonna select all the front lights, the 6 Fresnels, and call them front all. Then the 2 blinders, a bit separated from the front light. The smoke machine. And now we can start with our backlights. Here we got all our 8 LEDs, the par LEDs, and I'm gonna store them here as par all. Then I'm gonna make some groups of the par. First of all, an even group. Then an odd group. And now I make 4 little groups, starting with 1 and 2. This is my group, I'm gonna call it group A. Three and 4 is my group B. Group C. And group D. And now a special group with some symmetric effects, or not effects, selections. I call this group 1. And the inverted thing, this will be group 2. And here we got a line for our moving lights. Let's go to the moving lights. First of all moving lights all together. I call them all. Let's start moving lights all. Then the 401 to 406 are the upper moving lights on the truss. And here the moving lights down. I'm also gonna make some groups. From the truss moving lights, I want to take the left half. And the right half. Okay, now I can see I need a bit more space. Well, let's go down here. Check. Okay, here we are. Left, right. Also, we need for the moving lights group 1, 2. Let's do this here. That's 1, 2. 3, 4. And here's 5, 6. And for the lower moving lights, I would like to have in group, the inner lights. And an out group, the outside lights. Okay, now I'm gonna arrange a bit the optical arrangement here. I would like to have the all down right above the downlights. So I'm gonna move this group to here, and the left right belongs to the left side. That's fine. And I could make a special group for all backlights. So I'm gonna choose all the moving lights, all the pars, and store here a group and call them all backlights. I'm gonna view on the first monitor the group, and I select all our backlights. This means all our fixtures with RGB elements or attributes are selected. Now I'm gonna create a few presets, color presets. First of all, white. And here's my system. Start with the primary colors, RGB. RGB, also orange, cyan, yellow, orange, a kind of cyan, yellow, now a nice pink, and some kind of purple. Difficult to find a purple. Yeah, that's a purple. And that's it. Let's start making our first cues. I would like to save them on the fading one. And starting on the very left, saving a cue for all our front lights. I'm gonna select the front lights, give them full intensity, and store them here, calling them front lights. Front all. Now I'm gonna create a second cue, again with all the front lights, and I would like to focus on the center. So I'm gonna give an intensity, let's say at 40 through 100 through 40. This gives me a nice align. Gonna store this as a second cue. Create a second cue. And I'm gonna call this center. Now let's do the opposite. I'm gonna give 100% intensity through maybe 60 in the center, through 100 on the right side. Gonna store it, it's fine. It's a third cue, and I'm gonna store this as outside. Clear everything. Now we're gonna take a look at our cue stack options. Here I would like to deactivate the auto stop. And the restart mode is not the first cue, but the current cue. Let's take a look. We got all our front lights. Here we got a focus in the center. And here we got a focus on the outside. Still the possibility to do a master control of the intensity without stopping the cue. Next thing, would be nice to have a very slow fade. A very fast fade. So let's change the fade time here, or not change the fade time, just put a fade time maybe with 1 second or 1.2 seconds. Okay, let's view again the lights. Yeah, that's fine. And here we're gonna change also the flash button. I don't need a flash button. I wanna have front light all the time. Here I would like to have a go back button. So let's change it here and add a simple go back button. Yeah, so our front light is okay. And on the second Q stack, I would like to make a control for our power lights, all our power lights. I'm gonna turn off the front lights. Don't want to get confused. The front lights are selected. I give them full intensity and store them here. I'm gonna call it power full. Now I'm gonna create a second queue in the same queue stack, and I would like to have a soft dimmer chase here. Gonna realize this as an effect. So I'm gonna go to the dimmer attribute and add an effect. Soft dimmer. Let's view the groups here. Okay, the speed is fine, the direction also. Gonna store it here as second queue and call it power fade or soft dim chase. And next thing, the third queue will be a hard dimmer chase. So first of all, kill the effects. And we add a hard dimmer chase with a shuffle selection. Yeah, the selection is fine, speed as well. Gonna store this as a third queue and call this hard chase. Now the same thing as before, we're gonna modify the Q stack options. The auto stop has to be deactivated. Restart mode again on current. The flash, we're gonna keep the flash. It's nice to have the possibility of flashing the backlights. And that's it. We don't need a fade time. Let's take a look here. This is fine. And this is fine as well. Okay, next thing is we make a big jump here to the right side. I would like to have, I'm gonna start here. On this executor, I would like to have a speed control, master speed. I'm gonna assign here master speed 1, store speed here, and this is the master speed 1. And now I'm gonna change the Q stack options here from our power light control, and would like to assign the speed, the master speed 1. This means we get a possibility to control the speed with this button, or even to tap a speed. Same as for the chase. We can go slower. So we got a nice control. Same thing we did here with the second Q stack. We're gonna do with the third Q stack. Here I would like to have the same possibilities for our moving lights. All the moving lights hung in the truss. So we're gonna select them. Moving lights, all moving lights up. Go a bit down in the group here. I'm gonna give them full intensity, store them here, and call it moving light full, or up full. Second queue, same thing as we did before, so I'm gonna make it a bit faster. We got this running effect. It's very nice for circle effects, or yeah, even in movements. Also, it's nice to have this kind of chase. This will be the second queue, and our third queue will be a hard dimmer with a shuffle selection. Yeah, this one's fine. Gonna store it here and call it hard chase. Same as before, we're gonna modify the Q-stack options. The auto stop will be off. The restart mode, again on current. Flash button is fine, go is fine, and we're gonna assign on the same speed fader. Okay. If I would do a basking show for a bigger event, I probably would assign another speed fader for the moving lights. But here it's a small event, it's a budget event, and actually I don't have that much time. I don't want to spend 3 or 4 hours programming for a job that's paid as a budget job. So everything has to be everything has to be done in an hour. I think that's a fair time. Okay, let's take a look here at our Q-stack. That's fine. Let's do a test with the speed fader, also fine. And now I started the simulation on the left side and shrinked the window a bit for the programmer and the executor wing. Just take a look what we did up to now. Here's a front light with a focus on the inside and a focus on the outside. Our power lights, the backlights. And a Q-stack for our moving lights, or our hang moving lights. Okay, I'm gonna do same thing here. Q-stack for moving lights as ground moving lights. Let's turn it a bit down. Yep, there it is. We're gonna choose all the down moving lights, give them full intensity, store them here on the executor. Gonna call it down 1, down all. Same as before, on a soft dimmer effect. Yep. Yeah, we can do this. Store here, create a second queue. Yeah, and the next thing is a hard dimmer effect. Here I would like to do alternating between the inside and outside lights. This means I have to change the selection. First I'm going to change the inside and then the outside. Go to dimmer, add a hard dimmer effect, and now I'm gonna add some groups. Or not groups, blocks. I would like to have blocks of 2. And it's doing this nice inside-outside chase. Okay, we're gonna store this here as the third executor. I'm gonna call it hard chase. Let's take a look if it's working. First one. Second one, the soft chase, and here is the hard chase. Again, we have to adjust the Q-stack options, turn off the auto stop, restart mode in current, and we're gonna assign it again to our master speed 1. Gonna save everything. Okay, on the next Q-stack is our design Q-stack. What I would like to do now is giving a bit of output, intensity output. Now take in mind, here the power lights are very sharp angled. I think, or I'm pretty sure that on our real stage they will be a more open angle. So we have to imagine a bit. Here are backlights, the moving lights hung, and the moving lights as ground. We're gonna change. Nah, come on. Here it is. Okay, for programming I would like to have a bit sharper angle of the moving lights. So I'm gonna choose all our moving lights, go to beam and adjust the iris. Here it is, to make it a bit sharper. I'm gonna store this on an empty executor. Clear the program, activate the executor. Later I'm gonna delete it again. It's just now for programming. And we're gonna start with our design. Let's go a bit up here. The first design, we said we wanna have everything in red, totally red. This means we're gonna choose all our backlights, give them a color. I do this with hard programming, so we can use the presets later if we program something during the show. Okay, that's a full red design. That's nice. Let's give a bit more output here. Okay, full red design. We're gonna store it here in the next queue stack. I'm gonna call it red. Next design will be a warm design. I'm gonna choose all our backlights. Let's go to a bit different red. Oh, actually no, I like it. Let's go to this. Let's keep this. Then all our up moving lights will be another warm color. Here we can do this. And the down moving lights, first of all we can try with white. White is always good. And give the white a bit pink touch. Okay, that's fine. Now I like to change the parse and maybe also a bit more modern. Yeah, okay, that's a fine design here. Let's take this as our first color design, warm. I'm gonna store it in the same queue stack as the second queue. I'm gonna call it warm 1. Okay, third design, I'm gonna start with our backlights, with the parse again. Here I'd like to go starting with red and do alignment to warm colors, so a bit to the orange, yellow. That's fine. Then I'm gonna use the up moving lights. Also, let's start here with orange, yellow. That's okay. And the down moving lights. Yeah, I think that's too many same colors. Yeah. Okay, that's our next design. I'm gonna store this as warm 2. Okay, next design will be something with green and cyan. Go here to green. We do alignment. Let's turn off these lights. Doing alignment a bit to the cyan color. Yeah, that's okay. We're gonna start now with the upper moving lights. You could do the opposite, trying to give the inner ones a bit more green and going more cyan to the outside. In this case, I would like to select these twos. They are more to the cyan mode, and this one is more the green. Okay, and now our okay, next one is kind of a choco design. I would call it rainbow or carnival or party. I'm gonna select all our power lights and I'm gonna give them a full rainbow. Do a rainbow with a line through all the colors. Actually, it's nice if they have this red purple touch in the center. That's nice. And we do the opposite with our moving lights. Our moving lights, they're gonna start here with the purple. Do a line on the other side. Here with the yellow, it's nice in the center. And our down moving lights, they can do the same as the power lights, starting here and doing a line. Yep. A line. Yep. Here to the CN. Okay. Gonna store this as let's call it rainbow. Now it's the first code design we need. Gonna put all the power lights. Yeah, here do a line to this color, that's fine. And we can choose all moving lights together and give them as well some blue. Yeah, blue cyan. Okay, that's a cold design or cold one. The second cold one, so something like this, and keeping the moving lights very bright. Okay, I think the bars are not that nice. Let's go. Okay, this will be our design code 2. And finally, we need a design with a full blue. Yeah, that's very nice. And the moving lights, we also can try to give them more UV. Okay. And that's our last design, called blue. Gonna clear the Q stack. Let's take a look if we got all our 8 designs with the names. Yep. First, second, third. Okay, we got our different color designs. Now we have to adjust the Q stack options. Same as before, the auto stop will be off. Restart mode with current. And here the flash button, we don't need a flash button, but we need a go back button. Yeah, everything fine. So for example, later I could, I know then the next song is a very party song and it's not that serious, so I could prepare the rainbow, and as soon as the band starts playing, starting and lifting the intensity. Okay, now it's time to prepare some positions, moving light positions. For that case, I'm gonna turn off the color. I prefer to have it white for doing the positionings. Okay, give them very high intensity. Yeah, now let's start and do some positions. I think I should adjust the stage. Okay, that's the point of view of the audience. We're gonna start clearing the executor. And let's start with the backlights. I want to lift the backlights, the hung backlights. Just turn off this one. So let's tilt them a bit towards the audience. That's fine. We do a bit of alignment. Just a fun, so it's a nice center effect. That's okay. And I'm gonna store as well, or I'm gonna prepare as well the floors on the ground. Choose all of them. Gonna tilt them. And doing the same. Should we go inside? Yeah, that's a very focused on the inside effect. Okay, we can use this. And I'm gonna store it as a preset. So here first preset, rear in position. I'm gonna store it here on the right side. Let's call this in effect. Okay, I'm gonna continue with this effect. I would like to do an up effect as next thing. Here I'm in align. I have to turn off the align. Gonna center it. Yep, center again. Okay, now they're up. You can see it on the Fresnels. It's a typical effect when the lights will be above the head of the audience. No. Here's the problem, that the piano player is in front of the light. So let's put them more up. And we're gonna spread them a bit outside, a little bit. Okay, let's go to the hung moving lights. A line is off, but I would like to continue with this E-line inside position. So I'm gonna change only a bit the tilt. Yeah, I'm gonna open it a bit with A-line. Something like this. Maybe the moving light number 3 and 4. Let's center them and let's align them a bit more to the inside. Doing the same with moving light number 2 and 4. Here I have to go to the fixture view with this and that. Let's take a look. Whoops, sorry. Forgot to align them. Yeah, this I can store as an up look. Gonna go to presets, store up. No, not up 4, only up. Okay, next look. Let's go a bit down. So, next thing, we're gonna reset all the moving lights. Okay, I'm gonna continue with the hung lights. I'm gonna start with the hung lights. A bit more to the front. And now I'm gonna choose the left group, and I would like to align them and making a nice, not this align, this align, making a nice X. Yep, that's fine. Doing the same with the next group, just to remember it's 46, about 46 degrees. This align, and with 46. Whoop. Yeah, again the piano player is disturbing a bit. What we can do now is simply we take the piano player and move him more to the right. Okay, so the lower lights are fine. Let's take a look at the floors. The floors, the down lights. starting with the position. Yeah, this could be a bit disturbing for the audience, so I try to keep them above the head of the audience. I'm gonna use the inside ones. As you see, I'm gonna work a lot with the align function. That's fine. And the outside ones also with align, only a bit. Yep. Okay, that's our third look. Let's call this double X. The next look, I'm gonna start again with the hang ones, the up ones. Bring them a bit in the position. Let's go a bit more to the back. Okay, here let's make a look with, first of all, the inside ones. Yeah, that's right in front of the drums, a nice cross. Next thing is a cross with the left ones, and as well a cross with the right ones. Again, our piano problem. And let's bring the outside ones, a line is off, that's okay, a bit more to the front. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe we can adjust the outside one a bit more. Oops. Let's go to the oops button. It's the second one, this one. I want to bring it a bit more inside. And as well, this one should be this one. Yes, okay, a bit more on stage. And now our backlights on the ground. The down ones, the position. Yeah, they don't need to do anything else but pointing up. Okay, that's our next preset. Let's call this pop triple X. Let's do 2 more. Let's do it quickly. Here, I would go to the fixtures. I want to take the outside ones with a position and aligning to the center, a bit to the center. Let's do this group. Here it is. Aligning a bit here, and the last group go to the front. Same position, that's okay. And here, next group is the down group. Oops. Still some fixtures selected. This one and this one off. Just one of the down group. Can we do something like this? No, it's too low. That's okay. And here, these two, we do outside the line. And these two, we do inside the line. First of all, center. Yep, this was a bit fast. Yeah, we're gonna store this as our next preset. Store here. How can we call this? Maybe it's a W. And now I got start getting lazy. I just use this preset and go a bit up. Yep, hoping this still will be above the head of the audience. And I'm gonna call this, I'll store this here, W up. Now I can clear everything. Now on this cue stack we're gonna store our position presets. I'm gonna clear the executor. Activate the first preset. Here we work with presets because later on the stage we have to fine adjust them because the simulation never works as the reality. Call it in. Next one. Store here as a second cue. Call it up. The double X. Store it here and call it double X. Next one, store it here. We're gonna call this triple X. Finally, we got the W. And here we got the W up. Up. I'm gonna clear it and we go on cue stack options. Here's the positions. Whoop, sorry. Here are the positions. Same thing as usual. We don't need an auto start. We want to continue with the current cue. And we don't need a flash button, but we need a go back button. Okay, that's it. Let's take a look at our positions. Yeah, and we can go back with the go back button. And now what I'm gonna do is I would like to change the fader. I don't need a intensity fader here or a master fader, but I would like to have a crossfader. So this gives us the possibility also to do a manual fade or a slow motion fade between our cues. If you like, you could also add a fade time. Well, I in general don't use a fade time. I would use a fade time assigned to another speed fader if I would like to use more faders. You also see here with the crossfader possibility, you got a few looks out of only two created presets. It's the first preset, that's the second preset. You can create a look in between the presets just using the crossfader. For example, this one. Well, let's take here this first cue, second cue, and you can use it as a position cue simply by selecting or preparing the cue with the intensity faders down. So maybe you're going to prepare this cue and now you fire the intensity faders. Okay, here now we got two executors left. Here I would like to store effects for the upper truss and here effects for the grounds moving lights. First of all, I turn off the moving lights here and I'm gonna look for a nice preset for programming the effects. Yeah, maybe let's use this as a preset. First of all, I would like to program a circle. So let's go to our groups. Moving lights and moving lights up. And go to position effects. And I'm gonna add a circle. Okay, that's a very boring circle. I'm gonna do a symmetric circle. This means I'm gonna clear, first of all, everything. I'm gonna select my moving lights, the first group from left to right. Go to position. Add a circle effect. Yeah, speed is okay. The size also is okay. Okay, and now I'm gonna choose the other 3 moving lights, but in the opposite order. Gonna add again a circle effect, but I'm gonna change the direction. And now I'm gonna sync the 2 effects. And the only thing I have to do now is adjusting the phase. Here the first moving light starts with a phase of 0. This means it has to be symmetrically with the last moving light. The last one is a phase 0 as well. So that's funny. Yeah, as you can see, they're doing symmetry already. Let's take a look at the second moving light. This got a phase of minus 120 degrees. This means this moving light, the symmetric partner, needs a phase of 120 degrees, the opposite. We have to sync the effect. Yeah, here you can see the number 2 and 5 are fine. And let's take a look at the inner one. Here this is with 240 degrees, minus 240 degrees. Then this one should be 240 degrees, but positive. And we're gonna sync the effect. And here we got our nice circle effect. Yeah, it's a slow circle, symmetric. It's looking good. We're gonna store this here as an effect. I don't make a preset. I don't want to edit effect later. For me, it's fine. Gonna call this circle. Let's add a second effect. Our second effect will be a tilt sinus. Again, we're gonna choose the moving lights we want. It's a first group of the upper moving lights. We go to position, to effects, and now we add effect. As the .2 is a tracking console, we have to keep in mind that all values from the first queue will be tracked into the second queue. As the first queue is a circle, there will be some pen information tracked to the second queue. To avoid this, we do a trick. We add a pen sinus, but with a speed of 0. This means there is an effect, but it's not working the effect. Then we can go and add a sinus effect, do the adjustments we would like to have. We sync the 2 effects. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So we only got some sinus information. We're gonna store it here as a second queue. And let's do a quick check if it is working. Here's the first, our circle queue. As you can see here, also in the simulation, we got pan and tilt information. Now we switch to our second effect. And as well here as well as here, we only got tilt information. So I forgot to give a name to the second effect. Let's call this tilt. And finally add a third effect. As a third effect, I would like to have a pen effect. But I would like to have the pen going a bit chaotically. So I'm gonna change the order. The selection order of our moving lights. Go to position effect. And here, as we did before, first of all we have to kill the sinus information. We add the sinus effect with a speed of 0. And then we can go and add our pan effect. Let's make the pan big. A bit bigger. Okay, we sync the effect. Yeah, that's fine. It seems to be that the moving light 3 and 4 is not working, but they are working because the tilt is straight in the center. You only see a very slight movement. But don't worry, here we got relative effects. This means as soon as we change our look, our position look, you will see also the moving light 3 and 4 working. Okay, but don't forget to store our third effect. This is a pan effect. We clear everything. Now let's prepare the cue stack. Here it is. Again, we don't need auto stop, and here the restart mode will be the current. A flash, well, we can use the flash button. So we only got the go and no go back, but that's also fine. Okay, let's take a look. This means also we get a possibility. Yep, here it is. Here's the second one, now it's the third one. Circle, the tilt effect, and the pan effect. Okay, same thing we do with our moving lights on the ground, the floors. Let's select them. Oh, first of all, let's give some intensity. We're gonna select them, and we add a circle effect. I'm gonna go again to our fixture. I changed the view, sorry. Okay, I would like to change the direction. So I select moving lights 4 and 3 in the opposite order and change the direction. I'm gonna sync the effect. And I think we already should be very symmetrically. Okay, let's take a look at the phase. Phase is 0. Should be on the symmetric partner also 0. It's not. Then the second one should be 90 degrees. Now we can change it to minus. First the minus symbol. Minus 180 degrees. And then to be symmetrically, this should be 180 degrees. And we're gonna sync everything. Yeah, and we get a nice symmetric circle for our floors. We're gonna store it as circle. Okay, next thing, as we did before, we can do the pan and tilt effect. The pan and tilt effect I would like to do with the inside moving lights and the outside moving lights. So let's say we got 2 blocks of them. This means I'm gonna change the order. 1, 2 selected, and this is 3 and 4. I go to our position. Again, as we had before, we have to kill the tracking information from pan, doing this by adding a speed of 0. Then I go to the sinus information. Yep, I already can sync them. Okay, here's the sinus, and now, whoops, sorry. And now I would like to add blocks. I'm gonna do the effect with blocks of 2. Sync the effect. Yeah, and now we got a symmetric sinus effect. We're gonna store it as a second cue on the executor and call this tilt effect. Clear everything, and also we can do a nice pan sinus. Again, we kill the tilt information, giving them a speed of 0. And then we add a pan information. I give them, well, let's make it really extreme. Full turnaround. Nah, what's up with the second one? There it is. Okay, now maybe it's too much. Okay, also a bit lower. Let's do a shuffle selection. Yeah, the size is it's too much. There we go. Here we're gonna sync it. Okay, and we're gonna store it as a third cue and call this pan. Do a quick check if the information is fine. This should be our symmetric circle effect. Yeah, as you can see here. Also here's the pan and the tilt information. The second cue, it's only tilt information, is fine. And the third cue, there's only the pan information. Okay. This means now we got our 2 effect cue stacks. Maybe let's lift up. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna make a little change here in the cue stack in auto stop. I think auto stop would be fine to be able to kill all effects very fast. Also, we have to adjust the cue stack options of our second effects. Here we want to have the restart mode as current. Let's check if the restart mode in the first effect is current. Yes, it is. This means we should be able to kill the effects by turning down the fader. Yes, that's fine. Okay, let's see what we got up to now. Yeah, the color design is not... Let's do it with this one. And maybe with this look. And we can, well, just add the effects. Here is our symmetric circle effects. And here I'm gonna start our tilt effect. Okay, the effects are working. Okay, here now we got 2 executors left. Here I would like to store effects for the upper truss and here effects for the grounds moving lights. First of all, I turn off the moving lights here and I'm gonna look for a nice preset for programming the effects. Yeah, maybe let's use this as a preset. First of all, I would like to program a circle. Oh, let's go to our groups. Moving lights and moving lights up. And I go to position effects. And I'm gonna add a circle. Okay, that's a very boring circle. I'm gonna do a symmetric circle. This means I'm gonna clear first of all everything. I'm gonna select my moving lights, the first group from left to right. Go to position. Add a circle effect. Yeah, speed is okay. The size also is okay. Okay, and now I'm gonna choose the other 3 moving lights, but in the opposite order. Gonna add again a circle effect, but I'm gonna change the direction. And now I'm gonna sync the 2 effects. And the only thing I have to do now is adjusting the phase. Here the first moving light starts with a phase of 0. This means it has to be symmetrically with the last moving light. The last one is a phase 0 as well. So that's funny. Yeah, as you can see, they're doing symmetry already. Let's take a look at the second moving light. This got a phase of minus 120 degrees. This means this moving light, the symmetric partner, needs a phase of 120 degrees, the opposite. We have to sync the effect. Yeah, here you can see the number 2 and 5 are fine. And let's take a look at the inner one. Here this is with 240 degrees, minus 240 degrees. Then this one should be 240 degrees, but positive. And we're gonna sync the effect. And here we got our nice circle effect. Yeah, it's a slow circle, symmetric. It's looking good. We're gonna store this here as an effect. I don't make a preset. I don't want to edit effect later. For me, it's fine. Gonna call this circle. Let's add a second effect. Our second effect will be a tilt sinus. Again, we're gonna choose the moving lights we want. It's a first group of the upper moving lights. We go to position, to effects, and now we add effect. As the .2 is a tracking console, we have to keep in mind that all values from the first queue will be tracked into the second queue. As the first queue is a circle, there will be some pen information tracked to the second queue. To avoid this, we do a trick. We add a pen sinus, but with a speed of 0. This means there is an effect, but it's not working the effect. Then we can go and add a sinus effect, do the adjustments we would like to have. We sync the 2 effects. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So we only got some sinus information. We're gonna store it here as a second queue. And let's do a quick check if it is working. Here's the first, our circle queue. As you can see here, also in the simulation, we got pan and tilt information. Now we switch to our second effect. And as well here as well as here, we only got tilt information. So I forgot to give a name to the second effect. Let's call this tilt. And finally add a third effect. As a third effect, I would like to have a pen effect. But I would like to have the pen going a bit chaotically. So I'm gonna change the order. The selection order of our moving lights. Go to Position Effect. And here, as we did before, first of all we have to kill the sinus information. We add the sinus effect with a speed of 0. And then we can go and add our pan effect. Let's make the pan big. A bit bigger. Okay, we sync the effect. Yeah, that's fine. It seems to be that the moving light 3 and 4 is not working, but they are working because the tilt is straight in the center. You only see a very slight movement. But don't worry, here we got relative effects. This means as soon as we change our look, our position look, you will see also the moving light 3 and 4 working. Okay, but don't forget to store our third effect. This is a pan effect. We clear everything. Now let's prepare the cue stack. Here it is. Again, we don't need auto stop, and here the restart mode will be the current. A flash, well, we can use the flash button. So we only got the go and no go back, but that's also fine. Okay, let's take a look. This means also we get a possibility. Yep, here it is. Here's the second one, there's the third one. Circle, the tilt effect, and the pan effect. Okay, same thing we do with our moving lights on the ground, the floors. Let's select them. Oh, first of all, let's give some intensity. We're gonna select them, and we add a circle effect. I'm gonna go again to our fixture. I changed the view, sorry. Okay, I would like to change the direction. So I select moving lights 4 and 3 in the opposite order and change the direction. I'm gonna sync the effect. I think we already should be very symmetrically. Okay, let's take a look at the phase. Phase is 0. Should be on the symmetric partner also 0. It's not. Then the second one should be 90 degrees. Now we can change it to minus. First the minus symbol. Minus 180 degrees. And then to be symmetrically, this should be 180 degrees. And we're gonna sync everything. Yeah, and we got a nice symmetric circle for our floors. I'm gonna store it as circle. Okay, next thing, as we did before, we can do the pan and tilt effect. The pan and tilt effect I would like to do with the inside moving lights and the outside moving lights. So let's say we got 2 blocks of them. This means I'm gonna change the order. 1, 2 selected, and this is 3 and 4. I go to our position. Again, as we had before, we have to kill the tracking information from pan. Doing this by adding a speed of 0. Then I go to the sinus information. Yep, I already can sync them. Okay, here's the sinus, and now, whoops, sorry. And now I would like to add blocks. I'm gonna do the effect with blocks of 2. Sync the effect. Yeah, and now we got a symmetric sinus effect. We're gonna store it as a second cue on the executor and call this tilt effect. Clear everything, and also we can do a nice pan sinus. Again, we kill the tilt information, giving them a speed of 0. And then we add a pan information. I give them, well, let's make it really extreme. Full turnaround. Nah, what's up with the second one? There it is. Okay, now maybe it's too much. Okay, also a bit lower. Let's do a shuffle selection. Yeah, the size is it's too much. There we go. Here we're gonna sync it. Okay, and we're gonna store it as a third cue and call this pan. Do a quick check if the information is fine. This should be our symmetric circle effect. Here, as you can see here. Also, here's the pan and the tilt information. The second cue, it's only tilt information is fine, and the third cue, there's only the pan information. Okay. This means now we got our 2 effect cue stacks. Maybe let's lift up. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna make a little change here in the cue stack in auto stop. I think auto stop would be fine to be able to kill all effects very fast. Also, we have to adjust the cue stack options of our second effects. Here we want to have the restart mode as current. Let's check if the restart mode in the first effect is current. Yes, it is. This means we should be able to kill the effects by turning down the fader. Yes, that's fine. Okay, let's see what we got up to now. Yeah, the color design is not... Let's do it with this one. And maybe with this look. And we can, well, just add the effects. Here is our symmetric circle effects. And here I'm gonna start our tilt effect. Okay, the effects are working. Okay, now we got left the last executor, the executor number 10, if we count from the left side. And here I would use for this kind of moving lights iris or also a zoom effect. Okay, first of all I'm gonna deactivate this executor before we only used to make beam a bit more narrow. Now I'm gonna delete it. Okay, it's gone. Now here on this executor I would like to store a crossfader with 2 Qs. 1 Q gives us a very narrow beam, very beamy beam, and the other one is a very spotty beam. Okay, I'm gonna turn off here the power backlights so that we only can see our moving lights. And I think also I should turn off the color design. We just go with white beams. What did I do? I want to turn off the color. Okay, here it is. Now in our groups I'm gonna select all moving lights. And let's see what we got here in the beam or in the focus information. Focus. So that's a totally white one, beamy one. So let's go here, white. And also in the beam information, the iris, it's totally white. Okay, we only got these 2 attributes, and I'm gonna store them here. I'm gonna call it white. And let's do the opposite. First of all, with the focus, I'm gonna try to make it beamy. And also can adjust it with the iris to be really beamy. Gonna store this here as a second Q. And call this, well, beam. Clear everything. Here we adjust the settings. Now I have to fade here. Do this. The settings, we don't want to have an auto stop. Restart mode is the current. Yeah, and I think that's it. No, that's it not. We have to assign not a master, but a crossfader. Oh, let's see. Now we should be able to adjust our beams with just one fader. Yep. Okay, as I said before in the tutorial, here we will limit ourselves to work with only 10 faders. Okay, now it's time to store some gobos. So I'm gonna lift up the intensity of our moving lights. Here on this executors I would like to store gobo open, and here 3 gobos, and here gobo rotation. Okay, let's start with all the moving lights. We go to gobo, and here we choose first of all open gobo, store it here. Gonna call it open. The next one, I only want to select gobos from the first wheel. Of course, the second got no gobo rotation. Oh, I'm gonna store here this one. I'm gonna call this, well, it's looking like glass, broken glass. Triangles, the little triangles you can store here. Triangles. And let's see, what do we got here? What else do we got here? Yeah, this little, well, I'm gonna call it dots, little dots. Dots. Okay, let's change and go to the executor. Everything is fine. That's fine. Okay, it depends on which console you work. If you work here with the MA, you also could store a CMD command to turn off all the other executors when you choose a gobo. If you work with Jamsys, I think there's also the possibility. With Everlights, well, I think you have to look for another way. I don't explain it here. If you're interested in CMD, I would recommend my other course, Professional Lighting .2 classes. Okay, let's go and store here a gobo rotation and here a prism rotation. First of all, I only want to see the lights we are working with. Yeah. We're gonna choose our upper moving lights. We only want to store the information for the upper moving lights above this fader. First of all, we're gonna add the global rotation. Well, let's choose slow rotation. Okay, here the problem with this moving light, it's a high-end moving light. It's broken a bit strange. I got here a problem, I cannot store directly the rotation. The rotation always is assigned to the gobo. It's this constellation with the dot 2 and this kind of moving light. So we have to do a little trick to unassign the gobo information with the rotation information. And that's the way I'm gonna turn off the information from this attribute. It's attribute number 1, 2, 3. That's the way the MA counts. It's attribute 3. And here you got the encoder wheels. What you adjust with the first encoder wheel would be dot 1, dot 2, dot 3, and dot 4. So I want to turn off the information, kick off the information from attribute 3 dot 1. And I'm gonna do this with the command line of attribute 3.1 and store only the rotation information here on this execute button. Let's make a test. I go to this executor and gonna start the rotation, and the gobo stays, it's the same gobo as before. Here's the next gobo and the next gobo. I also can turn it off and the gobo stays. Okay, fine. Next thing, everything is cleared. Now let's add here a prism rotation. We go, it's only selected the upper moving lights, that's fine. We go to the beam, the prism, we activate the prism, we give them a rotation. Here it is. And this we can store straight away and call this prism rot or prism rotation. Let's choose the lower ones and we're gonna give them a gobo rotation, same as before. Or maybe we can go and turn the direction. Again, we have to kick out this information before storing. We're gonna go to our command line and say of attribute 3.1. Then we can go and store it here above the fader. Gobo rotation. And let's take a test. This is working. If we go to another gobo, it's still working fine. Now let's go and also store a prism. Again, we select our lights, we go to beam, turn on the prism, give them a rotation. I go again on, well, other direction, that's fine. We're gonna store it here. And we got our prism. Oh, let's take a look. All our moving lights, maybe let's go to another look here. And we got a possibility. Yeah, fine. We got our gobos here. Gobo rotation. Over the circle we can't see any rotation. Let's go here. Go rotation with the dots. Go rotation with the glass. This is fine. And let's make a prism for the floors. It's working fine. Okay. Next thing is to do some chases. Okay, the first chase is an even odd chase. I'm gonna select all of our pars. I give them 0 intensity, so that means I'm gonna turn them off. Then I'm only gonna choose the even ones, give them full intensity. I'm gonna store this here. Gonna call it chase even. Now we're gonna turn off the even ones, select the odd ones. Well, I think I don't have to explain how to do a chase. And we're gonna store it here as a second queue. Chase odd. Gonna clear it. Now I'm gonna go to the executor information and gonna tell it that this is a chase. And I would like to assign the master speed number 2 to this chase. Okay, let's turn off here the intensity and take a look at our chase. Okay, at the moment it's at the default speed. I think it should be about 60 BPM. Also, we can take a look if it is working with our designs. Yeah, as you can see, it's working very fine with our designs. Let's turn off the designs. Okay, fine, that's our first chase. And here on this executor, I would like to store a master speed 2, but only as a tab button. So I'm gonna go to store speed. I'm gonna store it here. And this will be the master speed 2. And now we get a possibility to change the speed. Okay, let's make a second chase. The second chase is a ACBD chase. ACBD means starting here with this 2, then the C group, the B group, and the D group. Again, I'm gonna choose all of our moving lights, give them 0 intensity. Select the first group, full intensity. Gonna store it here on the executor. I'm gonna call this simply chase 2. Kill the intensity, go to our third group, full intensity, store this as a second queue, 0 intensity, full intensity, this would be a third queue, and finally our last queue, full intensity, store here, and that's it. We assign, or we change the queue stack attributes. Here toggle button is fine, and we have to assign this to the master speed 2. Okay, and start the chase. Okay, it's very slow. It seems to be that the master speed is turned off. Ah, sorry. Master speed 2, and we have to tell them that it's a chase. So we turn on the chase. That's it. Let's take a look at our chase. And again, we got the possibility to change the speed here. Yeah, before it was a bit laggy, now the computer's faster again. Yeah, here's our first, and let's go to the second queue. Everything's fine. Let's see if the master speed Yeah, now it's working. Okay, now we got our third chase. The third chase is, I would call it inside-outside chase. So that's, again, as before, first of all, we're selecting all our pars, 0 intensity. Then the first group we made, full intensity. Gonna store them here. I'm gonna call this chase 3. 0 intensity. The next group, we're gonna give them full intensity. Gonna store them here as a second queue. We're gonna clear it. Open the information. First of all, assign the master speed 2, and then, yes, it is a chase. Let's start at chase number 3. Change the speed. Okay, this time everything is fine. Straight away. And here is, for me it's a kind of joker thing. I call it a rock and roll chase. And I would like to simulate traditional pack hands. The thing that you got here are G, B and yellow, and doing a chase. Okay, first of all, assign colors to our palettes. Here we can use the presets, R. The next one will be green. This one blue. And this one yellow. Okay, now we got the information for all the palettes. Now next thing is we need dimmer or intensity information. All are selected. 0 intensity to start. And then we can do the same thing as we did in the ABC chase. We give full intensity to the A. Gonna store them. Call it rock and roll. Zero intensity. Let's go. Oh no, let's make it different. No, it's okay. No, let's go here to the C. Full intensity. We're gonna store this as a second queue. Now the B. Full intensity. Store this as the next queue. And finally the D. Full intensity. And we store it as a final queue. Queue stack options. Again, to the Speedmaster 2. And yes, we are a chase. Okay, let's take a look at our rock and roll. Yeah, it's working fine. The big difference here with the rock and roll chase and the other chases is, if you take a look, let's go to chase number 2. And we work with our color design queue stack. You can see the chase is not storing any color information. So whatever you got in the color design, this design will be with a chase intensity. And the rock and roll chase itself, it got color information. Whenever you go to the rock and roll chase, you will have these 3 colors we assigned at the beginning. Well, now I'm a bit confused. It should be yellow here. Let me see if there's a mistake somewhere. I'm gonna change other color design. Okay, now this is the last cue we fired. After starting the rock and roll chase, of course, you got the information. So, but when I restart the rock and roll chase, it should start with these colors again. Okay, and here you can see I made a mistake. I didn't store yellow, I stored some cyan here. Okay, let's edit this mistake. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4. It's queue number 4. Queue number 4 in queue stack 209. So edit queue number 4, queue stack 209, please. Yeah, and I need this one. Has to be the color information yellow. Update, please. And let's see if it is working. We are here in the chase 2 with a cold design. And as soon as I choose the color, the rock and roll, it should go to our rock and roll design. Yeah, nice. And now it's yellow. Okay, it's fine. It's working. Good moment to store. Here in this executor, I would like to store our smoke machine. Well, the smoke machine only needs full intensity. So let's take here the fixture view. That's our smoke machine. We give them full intensity and simply gonna store it here as smoke. On this executor, I would like to store a strobe effect. In our design, we got no strobes, but we can use the strobe effect of the power lights. So let's go and choose the power lights. These power effects, they don't have a strobe channel, it's iRGB. So we're gonna make our strobe channel ourselves. And also I would like to store only a white strobe effect. So the color is white. What we do is a dimmer at 100%. We're gonna store it here, call it strobe. And then we make a second queue with no information or with 0 intensity. We're gonna call it, we're gonna store it here as a second queue. Now we have to adjust the queue stack options. We go to our strobe, and the strobe of course is a chase. Let's start it. Okay, as you can see it is strobing, but of course we need a much faster strobe. So let's adjust the speed. Now straight away we can write maybe 600 BPM. Okay, I think the simulation is too slow. Let's go to double speed. Yeah, I think this could be a strobe already. Here the simulation is very slow, and also this won't be the exact output that you can see. Maybe we could do a check on our DMX output. Yeah, it's a bit better. Okay, turned off. And what's left are the blinders. The blinders we give a full intensity. We're gonna store them here on this executor. Call them blinder. And of course we're gonna change the button assignment. And it's not a toggle, it is a flash button. Turn off, and let's see. So we can flash here. Here in this executor I would like to store a fixed look that I can always recall when I have to be fast. Also something I can use maybe for the entrance of the audience, when the audience go, when there's a presentation. Well, a static look. And this I'm gonna create out of some looks here. Let's see what we can make. Here are the designs. This one is nice. I think we can use this color design. Maybe another open gobo. Let's take this triangle one. That's fine. Let's see, maybe this. No. And the beam. The rotation, the prism. Nah, no prism. Okay, let's use this as a static look. And I'm gonna store this MA store. And this will be here. I'm gonna call this maybe break. This means whenever I need a very quick picture, I got one here. Whoa, what happened here? Well, it's in total beam. But yeah, actually it's looking much better. Okay, let's take this one. And here under this button, I would like to store a reset button. I'm not sure if you can do it with other consoles. The MA got the possibility that I'm gonna store here a command which turns off all other executors. Well, except the main light, the front light should be on all the time. So let's program, I'm gonna program here. First of all, I'm gonna store nothing inside, empty thing. Gonna call it reset. Gonna take a look what's inside the reset. And here in the CMD section, first of all, I want to turn off all executors, but the front light. The front light has to be on. Let's take a look. The front light is, here's the front light. I think this should be executor 14. It's executor 14, okay. Executor 14, and also I don't wanna affect the beam and the first speed button here. I want to turn off all executors starting from executor 7 up to executor 114. And this I'm gonna call, I'm gonna write here in the CMD. Off executor 7 through 214 minus executor 14. And also all the faders should go down, should turn to 0. Also executor 7 from here to here, 7 through 13 at 0. Okay, let's take a look if this is working. I'm gonna activate the reset button, and it turns off everything but the front light. Even itself, it's turning off. So let's do it again. Okay, we can see there are a lot of executors are on and a lot of faders are up. And I want to turn them off to reset everything. Okay, fine, that's it. Okay, now our show is pre-programmed. Now when we go to the menu, the only thing we have to do is adjusting the position presets of our moving lights. This probably will take 10-15 minutes, and we are ready to go.